Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because, quite frankly, we are looking at something completely game-changing. We're unpacking the newly released 2026 Forbes Midas List. But, here's the thing. We aren't just sitting here reading off a list of billionaires. Far from it. Today, we're using this list as the ultimate stress test for the post-ZIRP venture capital landscape. The rules of the game have entirely shifted, and what worked like a charm back in 2021, well, it's actively failing today. So we're going to reverse engineer the success of the world's top investors to uncover exactly where the market is heading and how the smartest money is adapting right now.
Okay, let's dive into this with a pretty brutal question, but honestly, it's the reality check the entire industry is waking up to. If you're a founder or an investor, you really have to ask yourself, are you still relying on ZIRP-era fundraising playbooks in a 2026 market? Because the days of easy passive capital driven by zero interest rate policies, they're officially dead. No coming back. The market is demanding fundamentally different strategies now, and the folks making the Midas List are simply the ones who figured this out first.
So, here is our roadmap for the explainer today. We'll quickly cover the post-ZIRP reality and that strict $200 million benchmark before diving into AI Alpha, the operator advantage, secondary markets, and finally, a brand new playbook for founders. Let's start with Section 1, the post-ZIRP reality. This year's list definitively separates disciplined, high-conviction investing from, well, just plain fortunate timing. TechCrunch really hit the nail on the head here, noting that the 2026 list serves as a crucial evaluation of zero-per-era investments. Look, for a long time, near-zero interest rates inflated valuations basically everywhere, which made it incredibly easy for any passive investor deploying capital to look like a brilliant thesis-driven genius. But as the tide has gone out, those inflated valuations went right out with it. What we are left with in this market is a much cleaner, much harsher signal of who actually generates true venture alpha. We're seeing who is genuinely building value versus who is just riding a massive macro trend.
Moving to Section 2, decoding the $200 million benchmark.
So the crucial point to understand here is that before a single name even gets considered for this list, TrueBridge Capital Partners applies a notoriously strict filter just to cut through the noise. And that filter is $200 million. This isn't a suggestion. It's not a nice to have. It is the absolute floor for generating genuine venture-scale returns. It completely separates the folks who just participate in a favorable cycle from those who are consistently driving massive structural outcomes.
To actually hit that $200 million threshold, there are 4 rigorous metrics evaluated over the trailing 5 years. First up is exit value. Did you actually realize $200 million or more? Second is portfolio appreciation. Did the on-paper value increase by that much? Third is recency weighting, which essentially means a massive win yesterday counts for a whole lot more than a legacy win 5 years ago. But you really need to pay attention to that last criteria, secondary market activity. The inclusion of private secondary sales marks a massive, fundamental methodological shift in how liquidity is officially measured today, and we are going to dive deep into exactly what that means in just a minute.
Section 3, AI Alpha and the big infrastructure shift.
The specific technology driving these colossal returns right now is abundantly clear. The top 10 positions on the 2026 Midas List are entirely dominated by foundational bets on AI infrastructure. We're talking companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Mistral. And why is that? It's because foundational infrastructure is completely eclipsing the traditional application layer. Think about it. A single underlying AI model touches healthcare, fintech, legal tech, and defense, all at the exact same time. The value compounds across verticals. Contrast that with traditional, non-AI SaaS right now. That sector is facing an exit market so frozen you could literally ice skate on it, along with highly cautious acquirers and severely compressed multiples. The Midas investors aren't playing around with the apps built on top. They own the engines powering the whole shebang.
Let's jump to Section 4, the operator-led advantage.
And this brilliantly illustrates that it's not just about what tech you invest in, it's about the human element of who is actually writing the checks. Hands-on domain expertise is rapidly replacing passive capital. Gartner's 2026 data shows that 67% of high-performing venture firms now actively prioritize operational support. Investors who bring direct functional expertise in things like product, enterprise sales, or distribution are massively outperforming their peers. They bring real, actionable founder networks, not just passive board-level governance. In that critical make-or-break seed to Series A transition, having a real operator in your corner can literally compress an 18-month growth timeline down into a fraction of that.
However, there's a glaring blind spot in these networks that we have to talk about. The Midas List still sits at only 11% women.
Now, the data repeatedly proves that diverse investment committees generate much stronger risk-adjusted returns, yet these homogeneous networks persist. But here's the thing. This is actually a huge opportunity for founders. Homogeneous networks systematically miss out on vast categories of returns because, well, they all share the exact same blind spots. This creates a massive opening for diverse alternative syndicates to step in, evaluate risk differently, and capture all that future alpha that the old boys club is just walking right past.
Section 5, Secondary Markets and Liquidity. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room. How are these investors actually getting paid when the IPO window is essentially slammed shut? Back in 2024, there were a record low 12 newcomers on the Midas List, which was a direct reflection of frozen public markets. But what's really interesting about this paradigm shift is how the timelines have stretched. Traditional IPOs are dragging way beyond that old 7 to 10-year range. Because of that, selling secondary shares to institutional investors is no longer viewed as some last resort workaround. Actually, scratch that. It's not just a workaround. It's officially recognized by the new methodology as a completely valid, respected path to Midas-tier liquidity. And the market is responding incredibly aggressively. We are looking at a 35% spike in secondary market participation just between 2024 and 2026, according to Stanford University data. For investors and founders trying to navigate today's low liquidity reality, early access to pre-IPO secondary markets just isn't an optional perk anymore. It is a core required portfolio strategy. If you aren't playing in the secondary markets, you're frankly being left behind. Which brings us to our final section, the Founder Fundraising Playbook.
So what does this all mean? How do we use all of these data points to create actionable directives for early-stage founders today? Well, the major shift we are seeing is the move from the old guard to the new network. The old guard model demanded you be physically in the Bay Area, requiring warm, exclusive introductions on Sand Hill Road just to get some passive capital. But the 2026 data shows geography matters far, far less now. The new network is decentralized. Platforms like Allied Venture Partners operate digital-first syndicates that route deal flow through distributed communities of true domain experts all across North America. This means a software founder building in Toronto or Calgary or Austin can access top-tier capital and operator support entirely without friction. It completely breaks the geographic gatekeeping of the past.
Let's move to our definitive bottom line for 2026, summarizing everything we've covered today. Number 1, AI is no longer a differentiator. It is the absolute default baseline for venture-scale returns. Number 2, operator expertise is your primary moat. The investors who actually know how to manufacture liquidity and growth are the ones winning. Number 3, network access fundamentally beats geography. And number 4, $200 million is the uncompromising benchmark for top-tier success. If you want to compete for deal flow or funding today, these 4 principles absolutely must be at the core of your strategy. No exceptions.
Which leads me to leave you with this final provocative thought. Is your current network actually equipped to get you to the 2027 Midas List? Because look, the market has clearly spoken. Success now requires early entry, durable infrastructure value, and hands-on operational networks. Whether you're an accredited investor looking for curated deal flow or a founder ready to scale without paying a massive toll to the old guard, you have to critically evaluate exactly who is in your corner right now. If your network isn't providing these specific, tangible advantages, it might be time to find one like Allied Venture Partners that absolutely will. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this gives you the clarity you need to navigate this entirely new era of venture capital.